Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Ask the Skinny Guy Savior. I'm Vince Del Monte, and I'm taking your questions right off my Facebook fan page. So we're going to address your problems in 60 seconds or less. So we've got a good question here on program design related to hypertrophy. This is from Mike Wong, and he says, "Hey Vince, gym looks like it's going to be sick. I'm so jealous. Do you think it's best to cycle between strength and volume training? Can they be done together, either in the same session, alternating sessions, AM or PM, or just 4 to 6 weeks of one, then the other? I think the answer to this question would benefit a lot of us fans. Keep up the good work, Mike, from Mike in England." So this is a great question, Mike, and this all comes down to the science of program design. I covered this over 15 episodes in season 3 of Live Large TV. So if you're really interested in understanding the science behind reps and sets and rest periods, exercise selection, then it's better to study each of these components individually, and then it'll make more sense in how to put it together as a whole. So to answer your question though, what you've suggested are all options. A really popular option, yes, is to cycle strength cycles and size cycles. 3 to 4 weeks is a great time. I wouldn't recommend anything more than 4 to 6 weeks per cycle. It gives you time to make gains on that phase, and it's not so long that your body will adapt to it and stop making progress. In terms of focusing on it both at the same time, again, that's another protocol. The key is to plan it into your year. So for everybody out there who just joined Live Large, you guys got access to my brand new program, the 7x7 workout. I'll just add on a few more seconds here. The 7x7 workout is a protocol that emphasizes strength and size in the same workout. So that is one protocol. If that was your goal, you could do that. It all comes back to asking yourself, what is my goal? What is my ultimate goal though? What is my ultimate goal in 12 months from now? And if this is where I need to be in 12 months from now, how do I get there? That's how we need to think. It's called reverse engineering. So we have to always think with the end in mind, and then we create a program that gets us there in the end. The last component you said is, should I do an AM/PM workout? Now, AM/PM workout would be something that we wouldn't introduce until near the end of a program, because you have to have the work capacity first to be able to train twice a day. The AM workout is going to be based on really low reps, so we're going to have to be bringing your rep range down. So for example, someone who's not comfortable working with a 12 rep max, we're not going to just have them start doing a 3 rep max workout. We might have them doing a phase that focuses on his 12 rep max, and then his 8 rep max, and then his 4 rep max, and then we'll introduce workouts that start introducing 3 rep and 2 rep maxes. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be progressed into, and this is where planning comes in. If you guys aren't planning your workouts, if you're going to the gym and just winging it, you're really selling yourself short. You really are. So unless this is just a hobby for you, but for people out there that are actually trying to get a certain result, you need a plan for it, just like anything else in your life. And this is where good programming comes into play. So I invite you guys to join Live Large TV and understand the science behind hypertrophy program design. And it's over a course of 15 episodes. And you can really wrap your mind around why you do this set rep range, why you do this set range, why would you only rest for this long, when would you rest longer, when would you do these exercises, how would you pair them up. So I've been telling you guys about this every week, but if I'm getting the same questions over and over again, it's probably because you guys haven't said to yourself, I really need to learn this, because I'm asking the same questions over and over. So you're obviously not getting the foundational principles. So this might be a nudge to do that. Okay, let's move on to another question. Question here from Benjamin Rosen. "Vincenzo, make me a pizza." That's awesome. "I want to know if I'm spending too much time in the gym. When I work out alone, I complete my workout in 1 hour. When I train with a partner, it takes me 2 hours. Should I ditch the partner to have a more efficient workout?" Thanks, bro. I don't think you need to ditch your workout partner. I think you can probably tighten up your workouts. You know, rest periods are, I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, we put rest periods in all of our programs because they keep you honest. They allow you to measure your progress. But you know, if I write a program for you and I need you to take 30 seconds rest and you're with a training partner and it ends up taking 40 seconds, it's not a life or death situation as long as the rest period is standardized. That way you have some accurate form of an accurate indication of whether you're actually getting better from week to week. So if you're training with the workout partner, just make sure you guys are on the same page that when your set's done, he's right on the bench right after, and there's no you know, extra leg time where when he's done the set, then you you know, decide to start getting set up. You're ready to go as soon as he's done his set. So I think you can get that 2-hour workout with your workout partner down to probably close to an hour if you're just a little more, if you pick up the pace a bit. Okay. Okay, quick question here from Pablo. He says, hey man, so what's a good fast protein source to have post-workout if you're out of whey? One thing you can do is drink chocolate milk. You could have milk, you could have egg whites, you could have white fish. Those are all fast digesting protein sources. Anything that obviously has little to no fat in it. So those are the types that I would aim for if you don't have any whey. All right, so next question is from Ishan. Brother, Happy New Year. So by the way, I put these questions up 2 days after New Year, so that's where all the Happy New Years are coming from. I wanted to know the difference in nutrition between bulking season and cutting season. How much calories, proteins, carbs should be taken in each season in order to get the best results? Thanks, man. So Ishan, I'll share with you the numbers that I use as a starting point for a new client. If someone wants to bulk up, we go body weight times 17. If someone wants to cut fat, we go body weight multiplied by 14. And those would be your starting calories. Now, how do we divvy those calories up around your macros, which would be carbohydrates, proteins, and fats? It depends on what your starting body fat level is. So my goal with any new client is to get them down to 10% body fat before they start to bulk. So if you want to bulk, I don't like when people start bulking at 13, 15% body fat because they're not in an optimal hormonal state to use those calories for growth. You always use your calories better for growth when you're in a leaner state for a lot of different hormonal and metabolic reasons. So what do the macros look like? For somebody who wants to, give me about 15 more seconds, Dave. For somebody who needs to get down to 10% body fat, it's probably going to be somewhere, it's going to be pretty balanced. It'll probably be somewhere around 40, 30, 30. 40% carbs, 30% fat, 30% protein. And if they want to continue to lose fat after that, we'll probably drop those carbs down about 30%, no lower than 20%. If you can't lose body fat, with those kind of numbers, you're just not following the plan. So that's what I would recommend. And in terms of bulking up, once you get down to 10%, typically that carb number goes up. So we move it to around 50% and then maybe even eventually 60% of your intake from carbs if you're able to do it gradually. You know, there's nothing wrong with carbs if you're eating the right sources and timing them at the right times and your body has the insulin sensitivity to actually use them, right? So everything though, whatever direction you're going is always done gradually. We never take leaps. That's where you start screwing up and your body starts hating you. All right, good question there. Okay, so the next question goes to Sherez. He says, can we be ripped and muscular through body weight exercises and how to break plateaus in such cases? Can you be ripped with muscular with body weight exercises? Yeah, probably. I mean, you have to do a lot of them. I mean, if you look at the physiques that have the best, you know, some of the best physiques that do a lot of body weight training, you look at, you know, Cirque du Soleil competitors, or I guess they're not competitors, but Cirque du Soleil performers, and you know, gymnasts are two I guess athletes that would come to mind. And you have to understand though that these body weight exercises, they didn't build their physique off of a 12-week body weight program. These guys have been doing gymnastics since they were like 4 years old, 5 years old, hours every single day for the last 10, 15 years. So don't think that, this is the problem. People see a picture of this ripped gymnast and they think, oh, I can get ripped and muscular by doing body weight exercises. Yes, on top of 15 years plus a couple hours a day. So you have to look at things with a broader lens, or else sometimes you can get confused. So keep that in mind. I certainly have no problem with bodyweight exercises, even in hypertrophy-based programs. It just depends on where they're placed in the workout. All right, so another question comes from Tyson. Titan. Hey Titan, Rose, he says, Happy New Year's, Vince. Congrats on the new gym. Thank you, buddy. My question is, as a hard gainer, should you still work out abs if your workouts are compound moves like bench press, squats, and deadlifts? If so, when do you work them in? Plan them. Just like you plan your squats, bench, and deads, just plan them. I would do them on those same days. You could do them at the end of the workout because it sounds like you're doing more of a heavier phase with those lifts. Do some heavier loading on your abs as well. So that I gave this answer to somebody else who said, how often should I train my abs? It depends on how you want them to look. You know, if you want them to look like a freaky fitness model, you got to train them often like a freaky fitness model does. If you want them just to be strong, maybe like, you know, a power lifter's got a strong core, but he doesn't probably do a lot of direct ab work, but he does a lot of heavy lifting, and he might do some indirect work 2 or 3 times a week. Just train them 2 or 3 times a week. So you could do them after those heavier lifts. But then again, I'll also mention this to you. If abs are your priority, you put them at the start of the workout, even though you're about to do compound lifts. It all comes down to what's my priority in this phase. What am I trying to get out of this next 4 weeks? Do I want to see the biggest gains in those 3 lifts you mentioned, or are abs more important? If those 3 lifts are more important, you put those first. If abs are more important, you put the abs first, okay? Next question goes to Jason Naylor. Hey Jason, he says, hey Vince, I'm currently following your no-nonsense muscle building program. I'm 24, 6 feet tall, 154, 13% fat, with the aim of putting on 14 pounds of lean mass. I want to use a 20-minute interval session of swimming twice a week as my cardio to keep my body fat in check. What would you suggest as nutrition before and after a swim session? Kind regards. You're gonna have a hard time staying lean off of 2 20-minute swim sessions a week just because the volume isn't that great. I was a swimmer for years. I used to compete competitively in triathlons. I used to spend about 10 hours in the pool a week. This is back in my high school days. And swimming just doesn't burn a lot of calories. It's typically why you see a lot of swimmers get overweight after their professional swimming careers are done. So again, as a form of, you know, if that's their mode, I would consider maybe increasing it a little bit. But in terms of nutrition, essentially you want to have it's not really what you eat before or after, it's what you eat the entire day. So again, if you're trying to bulk, you're going to use those calorie recommendations I just suggested, and you'll use the same macro suggestions that I still suggested. So a lot of you guys look at your nutrition like in this like a fraction. You just kind of look at it from a very narrow perspective. You guys have to look at it from a big picture perspective and see that the whole day matters, not just what you do right before or what you do after. So you have to first make sure the big picture is taken care of before you analyze the little picture. All right, so if you guys are serious about taking your nutrition, your fitness, your mindset to a whole new level, I highly recommend you guys come check out Live Large TV. Give it a shot for a month. Even if you're skeptical, if you're not sure, well, what's this all about? You know, why do I have to pay an extra fee to get more information? Well, why don't you give it a shot and you'll see why. You'll see why we have thousands of members watching it every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern who come there to surround themselves in a positive community, get access to me, get access to the information that's organized, not just organized, but it's delivered in a really fun and entertaining way as well. And you'll get access to some of my personal coaches as well, people that I go to for info, and you guys can see what it's all about. So I'll put a link there for you guys below. I'd love to have you. If not, I'll be here all the time on YouTube giving you guys great info. Talk to you soon.